All right, we are wrapping up the continued settlement of North America, and we're just going to wrap it up with one more war because why not? I started with a rebellion. We moved to the Salem witch trials. We kind of touched on imperialism and or mercantilism to imperial dominion, the Glorious Rebellion or Revolution that led to all the rebellions. And then we got into our Anglo Dutch Wars 1 through 3. So we're going to wrap it up with King Philip's War. All right. So, King Philip's War, who was he? King Philip was the English name for Metacom, who was the leader of the, and I'm just going to spell this for y'all ahead of time. Wampanoag. All right, so the Wampanoag tribe people. So he's the leader. They call him King Philip because, well, more than likely they were taking the easy way out, and they're like, well, this is easier to pronounce than this. Or you can call it a nickname, but more than likely they just didn't want to try to pronounce it. So, what happens? Well, a brutal war is going to break out between the Native American tribes in the New England area and the English colonists, plus their native allies. So, as you notice on this side of the screen, it says New England colonists versus Metacom's people. But as I just said, it was the Native American tribes in New England versus the English colonists plus their native allies. So make sure you make that distinction. Now, based on what happens, it actually becomes one of the deadliest wars in American history. And that was just based on the size of the population during the time period. It just was a lot of people, percentages, it happens. As you can see, Metacom's people did not look like they were really happy about, anything that's going on. So what's causing it? Why did it happen? Well, the colonists kept taking native land for farming and settlements. You're just going to take the land. Okay, cool. But people are living on it. So the natives did not feel like that was very good or neighborly, of course. So it also meant that the natives were losing their identities. They were losing their political independence, their culture, because everything was being taken from them and they couldn't stop it. So it's adapt or die at this point. So this actually led to a growing mistrust between the colonists and the tribes. I mean, there was already a lot of mistrust, but this just amplified it because you're going to come on our land, take our land, eat our food, and just push us to the back. That does not sound very kosher, does it? Now, they just wanted their land back, y'all. But the spark was ignited when the colonists executed three Wampanoag. I'm going to try again. Not really. Men, and it angered Metacom's people. So what are they going to do? They're going to fight. They're going to swing. They got girl fight playing in the background. They got, they have their whole playlist ready. They got their cousins. They got everybody. And they're going to war. So, what's the result? Well, there are going to be thousands of killed on both sides. So again, deadliest war in American history based on population at the time. Thousands killed on both sides makes it the deadliest. Native communities were destroyed or forced to flee, so they were broken apart. They lost their identity, their influence, their way of life. And then, of course, on the colonist side, they gained more land and dominance in the New England area. So the colonists come out, smelling like roses in this one, like they won, they got this, and the natives are forced to flee, run, hide, raise their children elsewhere with different tribes who have different ways of doing things. Could you imagine having to pack up your entire family and change their way of life all because somebody forced you out of your home or killed some of your people and then forced you out of your home? And we will see this pattern repeated throughout history, and we're going to talk more about it because after our test next week, um, we get into the 1700s and things that are happening there, things that are leading to the Revolutionary War. We will discuss, George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, all the people who were very influential in the time. So, with that being said, here are the test days for next week. Please remember that next class period is a review where I'll go back over all of this information to make sure that you did get exactly what you needed for the test. All right? So, I will see y'all next class, and I hope that y'all have had a great week. Peace and blessings.